Did you hear what Tom Brady did to his ex-wife? Allegedly, when his wife filed for divorce, she demanded half of his property. Only the court told her that her millionaire husband owned nothing.
Are relationship prenups a good idea?
I say yes. I think that they're a really good idea. If I'm done with someone, I'm done. I don't want any of this. Take it. I'm out. I think if you have a prenup or if you have some sort of contract, you're already going into the relationship with an expiration date. You're thinking, I'm gonna break up with you.
Ladies, your strongest weapon is your intuition. If somebody's handing you a contract on day one saying, if it don't work, your ass is out the door, your ass needs to be out the door on day one.
Sound advice from the twice divorced woman giving advice to other women. But in all honesty, they would be doing the man a favor by saving him lots of time and money in the long run.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. If you go into it with the idea that it's going to end, let me tell you something. I don't know a single person that has a prenup that ain't had to use it. She said, you're preparing for failure. It's like having a plan B.
Yeah, it's your insurance policy.
See, people kill me with that. A plan B is...
If marriages were taken as seriously as they're supposed to be, instead of being degraded into something you can easily dissolve, if you get bored, men wouldn't need a plan B. It's almost like he forgot that 70% of divorces are initiated by women, and over 98% of alimony goes to women.
Ridiculous. If you have a plan B, how can you possibly expect A to work if you don't put your all into A?
You have to go into that relationship 100% committed, not thinking, okay, if it doesn't work out, this is what I'm gonna do.
You get insurance on everything in life, not because you hope something bad happens, but because you want to be okay in the event something bad does happen.
There are plenty of women who have busted their butts for their men. They have put into that relationship. Why is it that after 5, 10 years, a relationship doesn't work? You're gonna throw me out of the house? No, I'm keeping the house, the car, I'm keeping everything. Your ass is leaving the house.
Amen.
Let them talk long enough, they will expose themselves. The reason why he gets to keep his property is because he is the one that bought it, not you. Imagine the outrage if women were the ones that got their assets robbed in divorce.
Did you hear what Tom Brady did to his ex-wife? Allegedly, when his wife filed for divorce, she demanded half of his property. Only the court told her that her millionaire husband owned nothing. Apparently, all of his property is registered under his mother's name. Because he transferred his assets to his mother, he technically owns nothing, which means he doesn't owe her anything. Now, instead of transferring the assets to another person, he could have set up a trust and appointed himself as the beneficiary. That way, it's a separate legal entity, just like a person, but it's way more secure. Which means his assets are not only protected from divorce, but also legal claims and creditors. So what do you think? Is this bad or totally brilliant?
It's brilliant. And men need to learn from these examples to protect themselves and their assets. Do not let the system rob you of all the assets you spent your life acquiring just because a relationship didn't work out. Be smart and stay prepared.
Third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking, we like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
You know, I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk everything you have? Would you risk your children and having access to them, knowing you only had a 25% chance of success? I doubt it. Add to it the expectations that today's women have are beyond absurd. We all joke about the sixes, but the reality is that is most women's expectation. You expect men to give, and offer nothing in return. I'm not saying any of this to be mean, but I am being blunt in hopes you'll hear it, because we've said it over and over and over again. And yet, you're still asking us, why are you walking away? That, in a nutshell, is the crux of the problem. You ask us, but you don't want to hear the response. And if you hear it, you don't want to accept it. My honest advice to you ladies is this. Get a mirror, look in it, and ask yourself, what are we offering to men? Why should men want to be with us? And if your answer is things like you have a great career or job, or that you're going to cook and clean, none of that matters to us. Not in the least. What matters to us? Peace, loyalty, and acknowledgement. Something very, very few women give to their man. And until you're willing to give that, until you're willing to set aside your ridiculous expectations, those numbers you mentioned are only going to get worse.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I don't hardly talk to him anymore. I don't blame him. I filed for the divorce. So I'm sure people are wondering, well, you filed. Why are you so upset? Why are you crying? Just because you make a decision that you think is going to end up making things better doesn't mean that you have to give up the fact that you love that person or that you did it because you were trying or whatever. I've never met anybody like him, and I've never loved anybody like him either, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
If you enjoyed this video, I promise you'll enjoy this next video. I will see you there.